Marcella Silva here, your certified land banking specialist, to talk all about today's dirt being tomorrow's gold, especially here in California. So, land banking, for those of you not familiar, is buying land located in the path of growth and continually watching that land increase in value over time and selling it for big profit. So here's a great example of missed land banking opportunities. This is Dublin, California in 2002. I'm sure you guys all remember what this area used to look like. And then along comes Fallon on and off ramp. The city and the county, they're not going to spend millions of dollars on a new on and off ramp. They're doing it because they're planning for the future growth of an area. Infrastructure first, and then boom, you guys know what's happened out there. Tons of development all over the place. I mean, land 20 years ago, you could have bought for $500 per acre. Now it's well over $1 million per acre. That is land banking at its finest. So right now, as I've mentioned before, the largest shift of wealth is happening across the globe, and this is to the tune of hundreds of trillions of dollars. And the wealth shift is shifting away from fossil fuels towards green energy. This is, again, happening across the globe, mandated by governments and corporations alike. And this is also causing the largest land rush in California's history. These are pictures taken from a drone from one of my associates of projects that have been installed in the area where we invest in the land just in the past 10 years. This area, we've seen over 200 square miles of land consumed in a 10-year period. That's like the size of Livermore, Dublin, Pleasanton, San Ramon combined, the entire Tri-Valley area, ×2, and then throw in another Livermore and Dublin on top of that. Over $90 billion has been invested in infrastructure and projects. And now we're starting to also see the installation of battery energy storage systems. So that's what these squares are. So as you know, we progress in this technology, obviously we have to have the necessary infrastructure to be able to power us at night and those types of things. So it's happening in a very big way just across the United States. Back in 2013, this is, if you see the shaded color here, kind of gives you the scale of where green energy has been installed from 2013 to 2022. And in California, as of 2022, we were at 36% renewable energies. This year, we're inching closer to 40%. And by the year 2045, we need to be at 100%, with the goal of 90% by the year 2035. This is a huge goal, and that's just for powering homes and buildings. That does not include also the transportation aspect, which is also going electric very quickly. So according to the International Energy Agency, the clean energy shift is unstoppable. There's no turning back at this point. A lot of people aren't familiar with it or don't believe it, but it has been happening globally, not just here in California. According to the World Energy Outlook 2023, done by the International Energy Agency, emergence of new clean energy is primarily solar and electric vehicles. Investments in clean energy has risen 40% just since 2020. Here's some fun numbers for you. In 2020, 1 in 25 cars sold was electric. In 2020, 1 in 25. By 2023, 3 years later, it's now 1 in 5 cars are electric, and they expect it to continue accelerating moving into the future, especially since car companies are going to stop making gas-powered vehicles across the globe and move to electric vehicles because of mandates that are being put in place across the globe by governments and corporations to go green. Additionally, more than $1 billion a day is being spent on solar energy deployment. $1 billion a day. That is, it's mind-blowing when you think about it. And The critical asset needed to make all of this happen is dirt. Director of the International Energy Agency said the transition to clean energy is happening worldwide. It's unstoppable. It's not a question of if, it's just a matter of how soon, and the sooner the better for all of us. Here you can see the trend for investments in clean energy projects versus fossil fuel happening globally. It's growing at a very rapid pace, and solar projects are the number one because it's the cheapest form of electricity actually in history. And then, of course, the electric vehicle situation. A little FYI, the Department of Energy is investing $2 billion to accelerate domestic manufacturing of electric vehicles. And the way we see it, thank you very much, government, for creating a bigger demand for our land. All the energy that's going to be power these electric vehicles has to come from somewhere, and they have to upgrade the infrastructure to make this happen as well. So billions of dollars is already being deployed to build out the charging infrastructure, as well as the high tension power lines, all of the necessary infrastructure to move that energy. And California, of course, they are the most progressive state. They started putting forth mandates since 2005. They are planning, they need to target over a 400% growth in clean energy by the year 2045. So for us, it's just a trend that is going to continue to grow. And like I said, it's causing the largest land rush in history. So this is how much alternative energy projects, the different types that have been installed by 2022 here in California. And of course, you can see solar and wind and battery storage are the biggest and continue to grow at a very rapid pace. There's a lot that has to go. And I'm going to tell you right now, to get to these numbers, the area where we're investing, there just is not enough land, which is the number one area, and not just California, but the entire country, if not the globe. So the reason why that is because this is the new National Renewable Energy Laboratory. The darker the red, the more intense the sun. So if you are a solar developer like Warren Buffett, as an example, he owns 9 square miles of solar project out in this area. Obviously, you want to be where the sun is intense. However, you also have to be aware that not all land is developable land. There's a lot of land out here in this area that is all protected land, government land, will not be developed. The number one location is this area right here, which is where we happen to be investing. It is also known as the alternative energy capital of the world. There are international companies coming into this area to build out massive projects. Abu Dhabi, Dubai, they created wealth from fossil fuels. They are now spending billions of dollars on projects out in this area. You have to ask yourself why, because this is the way the world is going. And we are actually already paying for this. Here in the East Bay area, they are buying energy from energy being created on alternative energy projects in this location. The Bay Area, we're going to need it. We don't have the land for it, or the infrastructure, or the sun exposure. So in order to get to 100%, according to this study, we're going to need about 6,280 square miles of land to be able to create enough energy. And that's an area bigger than the state of Connecticut. That is huge. Just to give you an idea, this area has a total of 2,200 square miles, and probably less than half of that is even possible for this type of development of projects. And a lot of it is already gone for projects that have come in the past 10 years. So it's a very unique opportunity. Like I said, over 90 billion has already been invested in this location. So here's another little fun fact for you guys. A Tesla, regular Tesla car, takes 100 kilowatts to power it. They have a 100 kilowatt batteries. 1 kilowatt requires, or 100 kilowatts requires 1 acre of land to be able to create enough energy for 1 kilowatt. So, and that's just one Tesla. When you start really looking at the numbers, it explodes. And forget the passenger vehicles. The bigger situation is the movement of our goods. So all the big semi trucks, all the Amazon vans, the FedExes, and also going into the huge container ships, planes, everything is going green. That's a big yay for us. So here's an example of a property that Rick and I own. It's just a little under 20 acres. We bought it for $160,000 last year. You can see it's right next to high tension power lines. That's what those lines and dots are. Earlier this year, a battery storage company just bought this 20-acre parcel of land. Here's ours in the yellow. This is about, I don't know, less than a quarter mile away for $1.8 million. We bought ours for $160,000. We have a lot of investors right now who are also getting long-term land leases from these solar companies. They're leasing the land for 35 to 45 years. And so on a land lease at some of the current lease offers, and this is a conservative one, $2,500 per acre per year for 35 years with 2.5% annual escalation fee. That would work out to about $2.7 million for us over that 35-year period. A lot of our investors are getting their money back every 2 to 3 years on those leases. So the future is happening faster than you think. This is Fifth Avenue in 1900, not a single car on the road, all horse and buggies. And 13 short years later, it's all gas-powered vehicles on the road. Goodbye, horse and buggies. It's the same situation happening again. And who made the money? Rockefeller, those who controlled the energy. So average investment range, $25,000 to $2 million. I pay great referral fees. My good power partners, mortgage, real estate agents, money coaches, speaking opportunities, and podcasts. All right, everyone, that's my time. Thank you so much.